ear and you can't hear. So we're going to clean out your ear so you'll hear the kindness of our words. You'll hear the love that we have for you. You'll hear the sounds of children as they're laughing and playing. And you'll hear the sounds of birds when they sing their beautiful songs. And this will uplift your spirit. And then with the third thing, third string of wampum, we're going to go to Nestle's and ask their permission to drink water. I don't want to start a riot here, but... Yeah. We're going to take the Earth's original medicine, her lifeblood, clean, cool, pure water, and we're going to give you a drink, a medicine drink to wash down that dust that maybe has settled in your throat, so that you can recover your voice and you can recover your appetite and therefore make your body strong. So in this very simple ceremony, we did three things. We uplift your spirit, mental anguish set aside. We help you rekindle the fire of your essential being. We put all the consternation of your mind aside, and we strengthen your body just to welcome you to our village. Then we said, now let's go with the women and the children and the crops are growing and have a discussion. And then hopefully, when we follow this protocol, good things happen. We used to do this at every time we engaged with your ancestors, every time. And it continued till about 1830. And then for whatever reason, the British who were in charge of Canada decided they no longer wanted to do this. They set aside the covenant chain. We stopped doing this ceremony. And I believe this is the primary reason why the federal government, provincial government, can't see us for who we are, can't hear our words when we make a request to them, and they just can't speak earnestly as the covenant chain required. So we're trying very hard to restore this. And you know what? It was such an important protocol. Your ancestors learned it and then would do it back to us. Most of the times they would use the Mohawk language or Anishinaabe language to do it as well. And so this is the foundation of a peaceful relationship between the people of the ship and the people of the canoe. And if we restore that, who knows what could be possible to that. So I think we need to turn our attention less about these issues over title, over rights, and over what was taken from us, and turn our attention to our responsibility, our shared responsibility, back to the dish, back to our children. You know, when they tell our leaders, when you're thinking of making a decision, you have to think about the impact on this and many generations to come. In fact, we say, if you look to the earth, you see the faces of the coming generations. They're coming up towards the surface. They're looking at us. They're waiting. They're hearing us. And then when they come into this world through the women, hopefully it's a beautiful world. But the way things are going, you have to think about that. What's the legacy that we're leaving for those faces yet to be born? What kind of world is it going to be when they come in here? Is there enough time for us to heal our relationship strong enough so that our mother will no longer feel threatened, I think, as she does now? And we believe all of these signs that we're seeing, I'm sure you've thought about it too, all of the earthquakes, all of the hurricanes, all of the fires, it's as if your mother is just trying to get your attention, and her voice gets louder and louder, because she's hoping that we will finally think about it, look skyward to where life first came, look down to the earth where future life is coming, and say, what can I do to help restore that loving space between the ship and the canoe on the river of life? And that's why we kind of agreed that we wanted to come here with you, because you're our kind of people. And we want to make sure that we can find a productive way to make this relationship. We don't expect you all to show up at our house for the next meal, but we may be selectively inviting a few of you over the next decade. The last thing I want to say is that, like I said, nature provides this great dish. One thing in the dish sounds like this. You know what this is? They look like it. You would have lost that wager, but these are the toes of a white-tailed deer. And I know some of you are vegetarians, so forgive me, but here's what we believe. The deer was created on purpose to provide us with sustenance. So when she talked about that what sustains us, it's not only the planted crops, but it's the animals like this. So we have a special relationship to the deer, special responsibility. And when our men wear these around their legs and they dance, the deer are out there, you know, they got big ears, and they can hear. And when they hear that, they say, listen, the humans are honoring us one more time. They still care about us. So maybe we should make ourselves available then to them when the leaves turn color and start to fall, because they're going to need us. So you'll hear about our men going to hunt in the parks in this region, and you know, some people get upset by that, but there's two things that are going on there. One, first of all, is the deer population is actually on the rise. And they're saying in some of these parks it's 3 to 5 times what's necessary to maintain an ecological balance. This deer will eat everything. And they're not hunted. It'd be like a perfect place, right? Go where no other hunters are, just gorge yourself. But it's upsetting the ecological balance. When we go hunting, we give thanks for that deer before we even leave our house. We get ready. They know we're coming. And we go to meet our destiny in the woods with the deer. And if we do right, think right, and shoot right, we get to dance to honor the deer one more time. Chandra mentioned in the creation story, up there was 2 villages. And the one village was a young woman grieving from the loss of a loved one. And the other village was an old man grieving because, well, old man, you know, you're cranky. Right? So you know. So to end this consternation that both had, the young girl brought a basket full of cornbread that had berries in it and gave it to that old man. And when he ate it, oh, his consternation was lifted. To show his appreciation, he gave her some roasted venison. And when she ate that, that lifted her consternation about this grief. You could say that was a marriage made in the sky world. So Chandra and I have repeated that. This beautiful young woman bearing corn and the man who used to bring deer home allowed us to make, yes, God's made in heaven and born here on earth. And we have the children to produce that it was a fruitful relationship. So who knows what's possible even with old men. So with that, thank you very much.
We're going to have like a 10-minute break and an opportunity to check the raffle table out, empty your pockets out. And after that, Bruce Weaver will come up and share a brief thing. Chris Hillier will introduce Danielle Bozina. And we'll continue. It's a 10-minute break, mingle talk, check out the raffle table. At the end of that 10 minutes, actually, we're going to raffle things off at the end of this little break. So now's your last chance to check that table out.